broadcast on YouTube. Someone suggested we try broadcasting on Twitch again, so I figured I'd give it a spin. So, long story short, this is a deck I've played a few times on the YouTube channel. I've also, for the most part, owned it in paper. The main difference being I have polluted deltas as opposed to scalding tarns, which is obviously a generic issue in terms of things like that. So that's life. But basically, this is a Jeskai Miracles deck. You're taking the blue-white Miracles deck, throwing in some lightning bolts and lightning helixes. It's a deck that's pretty effective against creature decks. Sometimes struggles a little bit against combo decks. You know, it's kind of a deck that's been out there on the fringes. Advantages it has over blue-white: it's a little bit easier to close out the game. Even a little bit better in creature-based normal like aggro or mid-range strategies. You have bolts and helixes to supplement your pass and terminuses. You're still a little bit weak to graveyard decks. You're still a little bit weak to pure spell-based combo decks, especially ones that can kind of protect their combo and aren't hit by your hate pieces out of the sideboard. Things like Storm, things like KCI, things like Ad Nauseam can be a bit of an issue. Also, the big mana decks like Tron and Valakut can be an issue. But beyond that, the deck's fairly reasonable. I've had some success with it, not as much as I normally do with my normal deck, which is Burn. But this is my secondary deck in paper, so I figured I'd give it some more testing. Those of you who want to see more of this content, the link to our YouTube channel is down below. I've played it like 2 full leagues and another couple pickup games with the deck. Usually does pretty reasonably well. Beyond that, we've got some, you know, Snapcaster Mages to pair with all your Lightning Bolts, Lightning Helixes, Path to Exiles, your Ops, Cryptic Commands, and Logic Knots as your counterspells in the main deck, Jace and Teferi, and Search for Azcanta to provide your card selection / card advantage. Sideboard's still a little bit in flux. The Alpine Moons being the big debating point at this point. 3 Stony Silences for things like Hardened Scales, Tron, Affinity, also for KCI. Dispel and Negate against Control Mirrors or decks like Burn, Storm, etc. A couple of Vendilion clicks, and Spell Quellers when you need to add more pressure. Generally, Spell Quellers come in against combo-based decks, or they can come in against certain style of aggro decks. Vendilion clicks, generally more generic, allows you to disrupt your opponent while applying pressure. Surgical Extraction, primarily for graveyard-based combo like Dredge, Hollow One, etc. Those decks can be a bit of a rough. And then a couple copies of Dampening Spear for things like Tron, Storm, Ad Nauseam, etc. So, it's pretty much the deck. Nothing too fancy here. Play it through a friendly league, see how it goes. Sometimes I understand why some streamers use 3 monitors. Even with 2, it still feels cluttered sometimes. CN seems alright. Don't like having Terminus in the opener, but we do have like 1 copy of Path, Snapcaster, so should be pretty decent in most situations here. Especially being on the play. We'll get to 6. Keeps their hand. Play out Scalding Tarn and pass. Wait to see what our opponent's up to here. Opponent plays Basic Mountain. Trying to think. Probably Burn, but just grab Hallowed Fountain here. See another Snapcaster Mage. Yep, definitely feels like Burn. They played an Eidolon here, probably just going to counter it. It's such a pain in the hind end otherwise. Yeah. Well, if I want to counter it, then I have to fetch shock, take 2. If I path it, I still take 2. So I guess we're taking 2 either way, so I may as well go grab the Steam Vents here. Really kind of sucks in the burn matchup, taking extra damage. Especially when we don't really have a way to gain life in our hand right now. Cryptic Command's fine. So I'll give them a window to resolve a spell, but we do need to get our triple blue online here. We're gonna get double spelled here. Yep. Seems like it. Wow, that's quite the hand. And we draw Jace. So we're pretty much set here. It's gonna run a Snapcaster Mage out. If they have more burn spells and we're dead, we're dead. Not much we can do about that. Sure. Yep. Dot Lightning Helix, game 1, that's a little rough. Bring in the Vendilions, bring in the Negate, bring in the Dispel. Some consideration for Queller, but they do have a lot of ways to kill it, so it's not always the most reliable. That said, I still think we'll bring it in as a way to pressure them. Boarding out, you know, some number of Terminus, 1 Jace, and then rest of the cards are up for debate. Terminus is fine in the matchup, but usually our spot removal can kind of keep those things in check. And then just kind of get rid of the Jaces since we only have 1 Terminus to set up. Burn is admittedly a pretty rough matchup. You kind of have to have... yeah, we can't keep this hand. This hand isn't great, but at least it has bolts to interact with creatures. I think I'm in the market for a search for his Kanta. Potentially, anyway. I think we just go Colonnade, pass. Could hold up Bolt here, but I really don't want to fetch Basic Mountain anyway, so... They're going to get in with damage, they're going to get in with damage. Let's go ahead and pass here. Can fetch our Basic Mountain up here. Trigger Resolve. Get a land off of it, that's nice. Go ahead and bolt here. Let's go ahead and fetch a basic island here. Search for his Kanta. Yep, gonna get a Helix or something, or a Boros Charm off. Sure. Yep. guess. I don't like putting that one in the yard, but at the same time, I don't really want to shock in a blue source here. We really need answers to spells, like right now. Yep, good thing we countered that negate, or that lava spike, or we'd just be dead here. Definitely putting that in the graveyard. Scolding turn, it's kind of whatever here. Snapcaster gives us a good amount of play against whatever they've got. Goblin Guide resolves. Couldn't path this here because they're probably out of basics. This might respond to us being dying, but yep. Alright, that was a fast and brutal punishment by Burn. So we've seen Snapcaster opt and that. Yep, Burn is generally... See, from the Burn side, I've heard a lot of people describe... I've heard a lot of people say that Jeskai is a tough matchup for Burn, but I just... From both sides of the deck, I don't see it. Like, I understand if you draw Helixes, the matchup can be a little bit better for the control side than, you know, obviously if you're playing traditional blue-white, but I just don't see... I don't see the deck being that much better against Burn. Island Ether Vial. Alright, so Merfolk. I usually don't War Dog, but someone made the comment, that I don't stream on Twitch ever, so I figure in my non-slotted times I'd try streaming on Twitch a little bit. Honestly, I called into work today and felt like crap, so went back to bed, and I'll figure I'd stream a little bit. Like, I'm still going to stream on YouTube during my main times, but I figure I'd try streaming on Twitch just a tiny bit, see how it goes. Thanks for the follow, man. Yeah, I honestly, it was a screw up of, it was a screw up of schedule more than anything. I went and took a nap yesterday I shouldn't have done, and it kinda screwed with things a little bit, so How's your day going? How'd the rest of your sales trip and stuff go? Okay, that one sucks. This league may not go very well. I'm trying to figure out lately, what the heck is it with the fish decks playing, like, weird-ass crap? Like, the same opponent when playing Burn played blue, regular blue, and then played blue-white and had, like, 3 copies of Blessed Alliance in their thing. Now I've got this freaking, you cast a spell into your own Chalice dummy. Looks like no Master of Ways for you this turn. This looks like it's going to be a pretty rough league at this rate. Yeah, not only Chalice and Fish, but Chalice main deck in Fish. That's why I said, what is it with these god-awful merfolk decks playing these weird cards? But then again, I answered my own question. Generally speaking, I think merfolk is a pretty terrible deck in Modern. Sure. I don't know. You know what Fish is? Fish is terrible. That's what Fish is. Like on the burn thing, I've played against it in 3 different versions. I played against mono red or mono blue, blue white, and blue green. Sure, your Fairy Conclave is going to get 2 attack this turn. Of course we show Terminus off of that. Why wouldn't we? Looking for a land drop here. Search for his Kanto. We have to bottom for now. Guess we should have kept Search for Riscanta, just because it is kind of a card advantage engine here. Really didn't think this would resolve, did you? If they have a counterspell, they have a counterspell, I guess. There's the land we were looking for. You have another chalice? Seriously? Wow. Alright. Nope, you can have Dismember. Our opponent's hand must be pretty terrible. Like, we know they have that Master of Waves, and that's about all we know they have. But, like, they're not taking up their Vial, they're playing a bunch of Chalices and nonsense. Yep, we're gonna main phase that one, sure. Hardcast a Terminus. Like how it makes them put the tokens as a thing on the bottom. That's just funny. So we have no idea what they're drawing this turn, unfortunately. Most of our hand is stone cold blanks. Another Master of Waves? What in God's green earth are they playing over there? Feels like a very terrible version of hold up Path to Exile here if they want to attack Teferi. Hopefully they don't have a 2-mana thing here. Now, say if they have a 2-mana thing here, they could have killed Teferi, but they're making us jump through hoops, but dear God, their deck is terrible. Not normally a Merfolk basher, but the deck is just terrible in the meta now. Yeah, it's playing good cards, but like, I mean, like, double Chalice is an enormous pain in the doo-doo, but it's like, and you see they're having to play cards like Repeal and Dismember to get around that, and it's like, well, you know. Cryptic Command's a pretty good one there. Lightning Helix, also pretty good. Let's play out this Jace. We're just gonna Fate Seal them. Oh, keep that island. Seems like a game they're probably gonna lose now. Those chalices were like the one thing we had to kind of jump through here. So now you have a Dismember in hand and 2 unknown cards. We've already gone through several of your man lands already. Seriously? This is probably the chalice that we want to put on the bottom of their library. I'm glad they ratted, what's his name in the way they did. Alright, that's all it took them to concede. Sweet. Alright, so unfortunately we don't have a ton against the card Chalice of the Void. Logic Knots are kind of garbage, so we want something to replace them. So probably definitely want the Vendilions. Some consideration for Spell Quellers here. Just to kind of race what they're doing. Beyond that, maybe cut a single Jace and what, one of the Boulder Path effects kind of tempting. Now, obviously they have multiple chalices, so we saw at least 2. Do we cut one of our 1-mana spells? Or do we just presume we'll find a Cryptic or a Teferi eventually and answer it? It's kind of hard to gauge what's the right cut there. Guess we'll go with just 61. I seem to run the 61 card special quite a bit, so. This hand has... Is this combination of cards good enough? Like, we have a couple shots at finding a second land, we have a Path to Exile, and a Search for Azcanta. I think we keep this, although it's a little on the greedy side. Especially since we know our opponent's leading on Aether Vial, probably. Alright, well, you know. I'll just hold up the option to either opt or Path to Exile here. Could get Spreading Seas here, which would be moderately annoying. But really don't have any other lands to play right now. Nope, just a Chalice of the Void on 1, because our opponent likes that card. No, that card is, like, extremely annoying, too. It's like... Like, I understand why they run it, but it's just, like... Such a garbage card. That's a tough one. Kind of means we're going to miss our land drop, which sucks. But it does keep their board clear, so I guess we should be thankful for that. Kept a greedy hand, and they're going to be able to punish us here, unfortunately. Nope. Let's pass here. Nothing to see over here, friend. Gonna need to find another terminus here pretty quickly, unfortunately. Oh, now they have Deprive, too. Okay. Good to know. We're just dead on board here, so on the sideboarding. I hate bringing in Negate, but that that Chalice is extremely annoying. I mean, not much I can say about it. Sand is pretty terrible. Sand's alright. Don't think we want Vendilion Click right now. That feels like a Chalice hand if I've ever seen one. I guess we leave that one on top. Oh, I highly doubt they shave Chalice. It's probably like the only way their deck has a prayer in this matchup, to be honest with you. In fact, I'd almost be willing to bet you this is a Chalice of the Void right here. Yep. That's like literally their whole strategy in this matchup. Feels bad putting the Vendilion in the graveyard, but we do want to try to hit land drops here. Helps if I tap the right mana, I suppose. Jace is an interesting one, but I think it has to go in the graveyard. Man, cannot hit land drops here. Almost anything we'd play here will be online. Nope. Yep. Path to Exile, not precisely the card we want here. We have enough to Helix plus Cryptic Command back up here. Sure. Wait till they go to combat here. Go and Helix or Conclave. Hopefully this will draw out a Deprive. Okay, so they've already played a land for the turn, so we can go ahead. Counter target spell. Turn target permanent to its owner's hand. I think during our upkeep we'll go ahead and path that. We do have enough mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because I want to be able to have enough blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have enough blue mana. Making sure I had enough mana to be able to snap Cryptic that stupid whatchamacallit. Opponent trying that second main phase BS we were talking about the other day. I hate when people do that. Target spell. Draw a card. How many deprives do you have, friend? Apparently not that many. You have another chalice? Of course you have another chalice. Why wouldn't you, right? Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much my reaction. Guess we take a Terminus here. Cryptic Command's a pretty good one. It's just like, I want to give my opponent a hint. If you can't beat the control decks with Chalice on one, don't run them. How are you going to kill your opponent? Our opponent have a Logic Knot or a Deprive here? Such an annoying little deck. Why on earth did they let the... Takes too long in Modern. Do we just cast Terminus here and let them resolve Chalice again? Feels pretty annoying. I mean, I guess I could theoretically, like, unload my entire, I don't even know. I don't even know what's the right move here. I could Snapcaster Cryptic that, but then we're kind of vulnerable to with our opponent having I don't know. Counter target spell. Draw a card. There goes your Master Waves. So 2 of the 3 cards in your hand are Chalice of the Void and Island, so let's just get this game over with. No, I think Mission Briefing's too cute. The only deck you really want to be running Mission Briefing over Snapcaster Mage is that goofy possibilities, blue-red possibility storm deck that doesn't want to run, yeah, your Chalice Resolves. Taking turns maybe, but taking turns still needs a way to close out the game besides animating a land. You gotta play something or you're dead on board, friend. Wow. This is why I don't think I could play Control at something like, an RPTQ. Just because it's such a grind. Alright, I'll be back in 1 minute with some more streaming. So, in all honesty, War Dog, what do you think's better for streaming for me? Do you think it's just better to keep going on YouTube, or split time, or try to, like, do this in the time slots I would I played against Burn. Got smoked pretty badly. It was a slaughter. See, I don't know. I don't get the people that say that, that say Burn has a rough matchup against Jeskai. I mean, I think it's closer than the blue-white version of the deck, but I don't honestly get the people that say Jeskai has a favorable matchup against Burn, like from either side of the equation. Now, maybe I'm not playing the traditional Jeskai list, and maybe that makes it a little bit worse for me, but I just don't get that, just don't get that. Like, I have to talk to Space Marine, but I don't think, like, he seems to think Burn's favorable for his blue-white deck, and it's just like, eh? It's like it's really hard to take any one person's results with a grain of salt, you know? Because everybody has experience bias, everybody has matchup bias. Yeah, hand seems fine. Oh yeah, I'm still gonna like post everything to YouTube, and I'm still gonna like broadcast over there, but I do need to start working on things over here. Guess I lead on Hallowed Fountain. I don't have anything I want to play on one, so. Ooh, alright. Looks like Marty Pyromancer. I guess at 1 and 1 I'm kind of in the mid-range bracket, so that makes sense. I say they take Opt here, that makes sense. Scalding Turn here. Kind of discourages them from playing a Pyromancer if they have one. Oh, they only kept a 1-lander? Put a card on bottom, too. So I want to fetch, what, an island here? Yeah. Probably going to use this to fetch basic planes, that way we're not just cold to Blood Moon. Yeah, like I intend to keep doing on YouTube. Someone just mentioned why don't I broadcast on Twitch. And honestly, it was because of the fighting with the X at that point. So now that that reason has passed, it almost makes sense to go back to... Oh, we're on Jund. Okay. That changes things. I can be a little more aggressive in fetching my colors then. I think we just Jason plus here, getting it out of lightning bolt range. Maybe screw them on lands. Yeah, you can have a Liliana. They slow rolled a land? Seriously? Wow, that's ballsy. Or they just missed a land drop? Alright, I mean, props to them, I guess. awkward. Cause like I really want this. Maybe I should have kept the Scalding Tarn in hand here. Cause now I might might actually have to pitch the Azcanta, which kind of sucks. Man, they really did slow roll a land. Huh. I think we just pitch Azcanta here. Looks like they're gonna go with the Bloodbraid Elf play here. See what you resolve first. Tarmogoyf. I think we care more about Tarmogoofy than Bloodbraid here. Counter that one, bounce that one. Jace will take a hit, which is unfortunate. So we know we have a Jace on top, so we're not really interested in drawing that right now. Hopefully they play that pre-combat. If they use a kill spell on this, then we can actually Helix the if they have a bolt, they have a bolt. There's not much we can do to play around that to save Jace here, so. Kolaghan's Command? That's a little rough. Two points to Jace. Get back Scavenging Ooze. It's unfortunate. off the top of our deck we know about. Probably should get a mountain here, I guess. Guess we try to get you dead, friend. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Alright, lose path, which kind of sucks. It might have been. There's a lot of decisions. Our opponent's still rolling a land or accidentally missing a land actually kind of what cost us the matchup, because I was operating under the assumption they were mana screwed, and they obviously weren't. So, kind of annoying actually. Props to them if that was their game plan. I mean, it was a ballsy game plan, but it paid off. We haven't. Actually, we have seen Dark Confidant of them. I'm not sure. Now the question is, do I fire up Colonnade and hope their last card isn't Fatal Push? I mean, I don't have a whole lot going on otherwise, so I guess we fire it up, and if they have it, they have it. Confirmed, they don't have it. Alright, apparently they didn't draw an answer either. Oh, that was a bit of a grind fest there. So, against their deck, I probably want the Vendilions. And maybe a negate? Maybe? Like, Logic Knot feels pretty bad given their scavenging use situation, and they might bring in Graveyard Hate against us. Surgical, that's a little too cute, I think. Spell Queller. Spell Queller's a little risky against a deck full of bolts and such. It might be worth it, but we know they have Liliana of the Veil too, so it's kind of like, eh. And then the last cut. I've been playing Alpine Moon. It's the one card that's kind of on the fence for the most part. What is the last cut? Yeah, go 61. No, if I was playing Blood Moon, I would have to do something closer to what, closer to the build that Foss had made earlier this year. Yeah, keeping 7. Hopefully we get to get this Search for Azcanta off the ground, but they'll probably have a discard spell here. Yep. Guessing Search for Azcanta is the take here. It's unfortunate. They took Opt. Might mean they have another discard spell. Pretty much just for Shift and Tron. I don't know if those are a large enough part of the meta right now anyway. Yeah, of course they have another discard spell. That's why you wouldn't take the Search for Azcanta here. So the thing about these discard decks that's so annoying is they're just able to take away your relevant cards. I guess we grab Hollowed Fountain here. So we got their first 2 creatures covered, but they're probably just going to resolve Liliana next turn and go to town, since we can't turn around and resolve Jace. Or they'll go like, who knows. Why do people do this BS? God, that ticks me off. That second main phase BS is such a pain in the hind end. We're gonna go ahead and path this during their upkeep. I don't want to give them the extra land during their main phase. And they had land anyway. Guessing we're gonna get blood breeded here. Sure, your bolt's kinda whatever, friend. Obviously, if they have another one, it could get a little risky, but Hopefully we draw a land here. Sweet. Obviously, if our opponent's last card's Assassin's Trophy, this kind of sucks, but it's whatever here. Hey, thanks for the follow. Pura Core, I believe it is. I think we'll go ahead and just bolt our opponent's face here. That way your discard spell does absolutely nothing. And hopefully your last card isn't like a Bloodbraid Elf or something. Terminus, a little rough there, but, you know, serves its purpose. Definitely not going to use the Field of Ruin. It's an answer, onboard answer to Raging Ravine should they draw one. 4 mana. Tireless Tracker? Nope, another Bloodbraid. That's kind of unfortunate. Opponent gets a bit of a freebie attack here. Go ahead and opt here. Definitely don't need another land. I like to reveal Terminus. Cast this one. The weird timing of this stuff is entertaining. Really like to find one of our card advantage cards here. Alright. We're rapidly getting to the point where a Snapcaster Mage is just going to end this game too. Yep. The problem is the only counterspell we could have hit there to protect the Teferi and actually countered at that point in time would have been Negate, because we didn't have enough blue sources for Opt plus Cryptic Command. So it was kind of a kind of thing. Why would they shock in here? I'm confused. Okay. That's an interesting trick. Didn't know that was a thing, but thanks for the, although, did look like the heads-up display was giving us that indication anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and brainstorm here. Put back the strand and the terminus. Did not know that. That's an interesting trick to know. Sure. You have a Dark Confidant. Yep. Jace is dead. Long live Jace. Bolt you. Snapcaster. Bolt you. Bolt you. The layers of magic you're not always aware of. So, update things. Jund. That was a long match for only being 2 games. So, nice to meet you, Pierrecourt. Or, how do you Pierrecourt? Hope I'm pronouncing that right. How's your day going? Whatever way. Like, some people are extremely anal about how they're, Oh, sorry, man. What? Sorry. Guess could be a guy or gal. What's wrong? I figured, but you never know. I mean, you know, you gotta be careful about offending the gender neutral crowd out there. This hand's okay. It's not like stellar. We don't have any one-mana interaction, and we have a Terminus in our opener, but I think Helix and Snapcaster Mage are enough to keep in most matchups. I think we lead on Hollowed Fountain here until we have a better idea what's going on. Okay. Anybody know how the Martyr proc matchup goes? I'm just gonna fetch a red source. Do this, because we don't want our opponent's stuff getting out of range. I know Martyr of Sands in and of itself isn't a huge threat, but I really don't want my opponent gaining like 100 friggin' cards. Kill it with fire. Indeed. Indeed. We're gonna get Squadron Hawked. This is one of the few situations where Terminus is actually a detriment to the deck. See if I get the last one here. Yeah, We certainly tried to, anyway. I think we'll hold up either Cryptic or Snap Helix here. Depends on what they do with their turn. They play like a Ranger of Eos, we're obviously going to want to Cryptic Command. Just let that resolve. Obviously, want to leave most of our can't entirely rely on hitting a Terminus here, so we gotta start picking these things off one by one if we have to. Just fine, because there isn't too many threats in their deck that are... Sure? Guess they're trying to keep us from gaining life. That's fine. Ironically, I don't want to use this Terminus there. Which is kind of awkward. So, hope everyone's having a good Saturday. I think we got a counter martyr. Do we counter martyr, or do we just let that resolve and let them gain a boatload of life here? Yeah, I know what their game plans are, but there's only so much we can do with what our hand does. And then probably also ramping to Sun Titan. I think we gotta let this martyr resolve, which kind of sucks. Like, it's just annoying enough with their big fat idiots to... awkward. Search for Azcanta isn't really going to do a ton for us in this matchup with Ghost Quarters and Field of Runes. Let's see what our opponent reveals here. Oh, they choose not to. Alright, opponent's got a lot of Ghost Quarters. No. I think I'm good with Teferi here. This kind of forces our opponent to start being a little more aggressive with things. Seriously? The awkward timing of drawing Terminuses sometimes. It's a lot of Ghost Quarters. They're just flat out ignoring Teferi. That's ambitious. Yep, get yourself a Ranger. Three-man Inspector, three-man Inspector. Requires what? Colorless mana to do? Looking for a land here. No. Yes. Okay. Bye-bye, opponent's board. We're about to see their entire hand here. Alright, so Ascendant, Inspector, Squadron Hawk, Ranger of Eos, Path to Exile. I think the Ranger is the one we gotta counter here. The Sarah Ascendant's annoying, but it's not actual card advantage. Squadron Hawk sorta is. I think we want the basic plane still. As awkward as that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we gotta go ahead and hard cast a Terminus here. Just trying to get to Teferi's Ald here, pretty much. Sure. Okay. Starting to build up there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Sure. Got punished for a misplay here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like I got a fetch here, which is unfortunate. This is a very boring, very blue-white control-ish kind of game, but opponent has 5 planes currently. He needs 7. Okay, that puts it at 6. No. No. Play the Field of Ruin first. Get rid of this stupid Emeria. Definitely would love to find Jace here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 6 total. Alright, so you go get some Squadron Hawks. Yes. Alright, so emblem this. Opt. Leave that on top. Take out your Mistveil planes here. Do the Jace thing. Brainstorm. Put back those two for now. Take out that. Take out that. Take out one of your ghost quarters. Opponent's still trying to troop on, I'll grant him that much. Nope. Nope. Force them to ghost quarter it. Yep. Go get a basic mountain here. Opt. Take out a land. Jace Brainstorm. Put back 2 lands. Take out a land. Take out a land. Take out a land. Sure. Our opponent's a trooper, I'll grant him that much. Definitely should have Helix first. Leave that on top. Nope. Yep. No, he's trying to make me burn time. I'm very well aware of what he's trying to do. It's all about trying to buy time. That's all they're trying to do here. It was all about bleeding time. It's a very douchebag thing to do, but it is something you can do on Magic Online, so... Alright. So... Huh. What cards are we interested in here? Probably the Vendilions. Maybe the Quellers. Surgical would certainly be a consideration. Because they are a pseudo-graveyard strategy, but at the same time, might be getting a bit too cute there. I don't have a ton of things we want to counter. And then... No, it's fine, War Dog. Like, I understood what my opponent was trying to do. That literally just playing that Kami of False Hope was literally just a time maneuver. In real life, they were dead and they should have scooped, but, you know. People try to take every edge they can. They're a little less likely to do it in friendly leagues, but they still do it. Maybe the Quellers are too cute, because we know they have some number of Path to Exile. Shave a Helix. We know, unlike the Merfolk deck, we know they can't play, Chalice of the Void, so, you know. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out this morning. If you're new to the stream, please consider following here on Twitch. If you really like standard and modern content, please consider checking out our YouTube page. I usually stream a lot more on YouTube, but I figured I'd give Twitch a little bit more of my attention when I have some free time. So, hence why we're playing Jeskai Control Miracles over here. Sand doesn't have the greatest amount of interaction, but I still think it's a keep. Like, our opponent probably has, okay, 3-man Inspector on one, kind of whatever here. Pass. Probably shocking to search for his Kanta here. Their 3-man Inspector. Sure. Their opponent has a lot of value to their beatdown plan. Crucible of Worlds. Well, isn't that a kick in the junk? Opponent is on the full-on... Opponent is on the full-on D-bag plan for their deck, aren't they? Go ahead and draw step the click here. There's nothing else we can play here. Let's grab... I guess we grab Hulled Fountain here, or is it Steam Vents? One of these times we're going to have to bounce that Crucible of Worlds or get rid of it in some way and then counter it on the way back down. They're on the full-on... Sun Titan, Squadron Hawk, Squadron Hawk. Guess we get rid of Sun Titan. So their additional draw was Field of Ruin? looking for a Terminus, something along those lines. Do I want to put a Path Exile in my graveyard? No, not really. I gotta shock this in, pass the turn. Do I just trade this off here? I feel like I have to trade this off here. So we could Teferi here, but we know that means they'll get to redeploy Crucible of Worlds. I wonder what's the better... Question is, do they go after me or do they go after Teferi? Alright, that's fine. Hopefully we can convince them we have a logic knot and they don't redeploy. Going after my Field of Ruin, that's interesting. That one resolves. Nope. Nope. So there's a pretty good chance here we lose to timeout, but we gotta do what we gotta do, I guess. Squadron Hawk resolves. Go get the last Squadron Hawk. Yep, Squadron Hawk resolves. Nope. So our opponent could actually screw us off of red here if they chose to. That in my graveyard, yes, no. Yep, that's fine. Sure. Tap all creatures, draw a card. So put Terminus, okay. Teferian Terminus back on top. Okay, Sun Titan gets back. Ghost Quarter? Sure. See what we can find here. Put that on bottom. Nope. They get their Crucible back, which is annoying. I don't even think we have any red sources left in our deck, do we? Pretty sure they've red sourced us out here. Back that, and that. Guess we fetch, see if we have a red source left. We do not. So... So now I'll have to play without the benefit of the... Sure. Yep. Opponent has one card in hand. Cryptic Command. Tap creatures, draw a card. Yes, no. And finally. Whew. Good old Martyr proc. Alright, well, this has been a fun, interesting league so far. I'm going to leave the deck list on the screen, and I'm going to go and take a really short break. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that delay there. So, on to the fifth and final match in this league. So I want to thank everyone for hanging out this morning. My name is John, or Dusk, as my Duskblader, as my World of Warcraft account is named, which is the basis of my username. It's also the username here on Magic Online. Yeah, it's pretty much a little bit about me. I play, play some local PPTQs, occasionally Star City or Grand Prix if they're in the area. Usually play Modern, play a little bit of Standard here and there. Been getting into some Arena, stream some World of Warcraft here and there too. Right now I have a 100 treasure chest challenge that I'm trying to get to by the end of October in Modern Burn. Currently leveling a rogue on World of Warcraft, play some Jeskai Miracles, play some Burn and Modern. Standard, been working on some of the various decks, trying to get a grasp of what I'd be interested in building. So it's pretty much the main stuff about me. So this hand's a little weird. I think we keep, but it's definitely on the sketchy side here. Valakut? Am I gonna get bolted? Not really sure what Stomping Ground Pass means. I have no idea what's going on here. I don't know if this is a Valakut deck. Probably not with a Mind Stone. Some type of aggressive Blood Moon deck. Nope, Eldrazi. Alright, that explains some stuff. Alright. Been a while since I've seen green-white Eldrazi, or green-red Eldrazi. No idea how this matchup goes. I think I just take the 3 from whatchamacallit here and Path, the Reshaper, because they basically have the ability 3, 4, 5. They basically have the ability to cast anything they want here, so. I think we use the Terminus here. I really don't want to, but I have a feeling we're going to get Thought Knot Seared this turn. Kessig Wolf Run. Alright. It's a little scary. I was going to say, how did we seal those cards? But those were the cards that they revealed with, or we're just getting Reality Smashed. Alright, well, need to find a Path to Exile here pretty quick, or another Terminus. They're going to bolt us too? Sure. Alright, Snapcaster Mage was one of the cards we were kind of looking for here. Obviously, if our opponent has another Smasher, we're just dead. See if they activate here. Alright, so we're going to get to theoretically eat up most of their turn here. Obviously, if they have Bold here, we're just dead. We would be, well, I guess we're not dead, but I think we just pitch we pitching Scalding Turn here? Sure. Alright, just pitch the Steam Vents. We're not going to attack with Snapcaster Mage this turn. There's still quite a few things that kill us here. But at least we now have the out of trying to opt into Terminus. And we have a blocker for a Bloodbraid Elf. Plus we know they've burned through 2 of their Lightning Bolts. So the odds of them having Lightning Bolt here are a little bit lower. Another Reality Smasher. Nope, looks like an Endbringer. Looks like an Endbringer. Never mind. So we need to find Path or Terminus here off this opt. Alright, opponent had a bunch of hasty nonsense. Don't really have a whole lot for the red-green Eldrazi matchup, huh? Get these Vendilion clicks in here. Spell Queller might be alright. These Logic Knots out of their deck, they showed us at least some number of, whatchamacallits. Get a Jace out of here. Try it like that. Guess I'd like to play first. I don't like having Terminus in my opening hand, but Path and Helix sign me up. So that's definitely one of their more aggressive draws, so get our white source here. Ancient Stirrings, yep. Thought Not Seer. Field of Ruin them off of this Eldrazi Temple. Probably grab, what, planes here? Alright, War Dog, have a good day, man. Obviously, they could have any number of things here to kill Jace, so... They have a lot of hasty threats in their deck. All they have... Actually, I probably should have had hid Snapcaster Mage on top of my deck. If all they have is Thought Knotseer here, though, I'll be very happy. Could very easily have Reality Smasher here. Yep, Bloodbraid Elf. Ugh. That's kind of annoying. Not unexpected, but annoying. Get rid of the Colonnade or the Steam Vents here? Probably the Steam Vents. Lightning Bolt going where? by casting Path on that. See what we draw. Play out the Spell Queller, let them take the Lightning Helix, I guess. Sure. Jace, huh? Protecting the Jace is the best thing we can do here right now. Well, it makes our Cryptic Command a little bit worse, but it's kind of whatever here. Let's get their last card like a Reality Smasher or a Obligator. Of course it's another Obligator, why wouldn't it be? See how they divide up their attacks. Yeah, just go ahead and let this happen. Hopefully their last card isn't Bolt, but if it is, it is. And they'll get to counter this. Of course their last card's Bolt. And pass. Should have realized when they were keeping up that it was because they wanted to leave up Bolt. Alright, see if we're dead. Need to find a source card advantage here. One of our let's see, Endbringer. It is in fact an Endbringer. Leave that in hand in case we find a path or a snap for a Reality Smasher. Get a redraw here. Alright, not the best end of the league there. I screwed up with the Cryptic Command play. I should have just probably bounced their should have bounced their Eldrazi Obligator there. Thoughts on the deck? I mean, the deck's still pretty reasonable. I went 2-1 with it at FNM, 2-0-1 technically, but played against the Boggles player, couldn't find Terminuses. I'm beginning to wonder if I should just cut those Alpine Moons and have either more Graveyard Hate or maybe some Settle the Wreckages for these creature matchups. Just something else to answer more problematic creatures. don't know that we're going to consistently beat the big mana decks anyway, so maybe it's just best to prepare for other matchups. Well, beyond that, that's going to be the end of the stream for right now. This has been Dusk for Dusted on Gaming. If you liked what you're seeing, please consider hitting that follow button here on YouTube or on Twitch. If you want to check out some more of our content, we have everything, pretty much everything logged over on YouTube. Our link is down below, and I hope you have a great day. This has been Dusk for Dusted on Gaming.